Sometimes the most powerful word in your vocabulary as a business owner, as a leader, is the word no. And it sucks. I hate saying no to stuff. You probably hate saying no to stuff. And sometimes the stuff that you're supposed to or that we ought to say no to end up being really good things. But for the betterment of our business, for the betterment of our trajectory, uh, we might sometimes have to say no. And I think that this is going to be something that benefits you in your Pokemon card business, in your trading card business, in your leadership journey, whatever it is. I think this is something that's going to benefit you. So I'm excited to talk about it. But what's up? My name is TJ. This is my business, Pastor TCG, where I primarily talk about starting or how I've started a trading card business here out of my basement in Minnesota. And I do this part-time, full-time. I work as a pastor. And this right here, well, the video you guys are watching right now, is part of a series called Wisdom Wednesday, where every single Wednesday I put out a video for you where I give some wisdom from my journey as a pastor, leading the church that I lead, from my journey of starting this six-figure Pokemon side hustle here. And I think this is going to be something that is going to benefit you no matter how you interact in the Pokemon card hobby, no matter what you do for work, what you do in life, because I think this is something that just every human being has to deal with, has to learn how to navigate. And that is how to say no. And what I mean by that is, in every aspect of life, you're going to have people who come to you with good ideas. And the best businesses aren't just the businesses that can say no to the bad ideas. Because it's easy to say no to a bad idea. If someone comes to you with an idea or a potential partnership or a business opportunity, and it's very clearly, it stinks. It's not good. It's doo-doo. It's easy to be like, no, like I'm good. No, thanks. Yep. I appreciate it, but I'm good. I want to pursue other things. Like, no, thanks. I'm right. Everyone does that, right? Everyone should do that. The tricky thing is, how do you say no to good things that might not be the best thing? That's where it gets tough. That's where it gets tricky, because as a business owner, as a leader, whatever the situation might be, you are going to be presented with all sorts of circumstances where someone comes and pitches you not a bad idea, but a good idea. But just because something is a good idea does not mean that you have to do it. And so I'm going to give all sorts of different examples, and maybe you'll find something that resonates with you. But again, there's power in you saying no, not just to bad things, but also to good things. Because when we say no to some good things, it makes sure that we're able to say yes to the best thing. And as leaders, as business owners, we want to be saying yes to as many of the best things as we possibly can. So let's talk about the Pokemon card business. A big thing in the Pokemon card reselling business is buying collections. And oftentimes, especially after you've been operating for a while, people are going to hit you up. People who have sold to you in the past are going to hit you up with collections that they want to get rid of. And I often say, always be buying, always be buying, always be buying. If someone wants to offer you a collection, you should take that as, hey, they've enjoyed selling to you in the past, so make sure to cash them out, take their inventory, list it, sell it. But, sometimes you might need to say no to that if you think it's going to keep you from saying yes to something that's bigger. For instance, if there's a lot that you're maybe 6 out of 10 excited on, it might be worth passing if you feel like there's potential for a lot to come available that's going to be an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. It would stink to tie up a bunch of your capital in a lot that's got a ton of cards, a lot of it's bulk. And again, I love bulk. I've done lots of videos on bulk, but bulk takes a lot of time. Or jumbo cards, right? Jumbo cards, cool thing, good thing, can sell them, can make money, but different. You're right. So you pick up this lot, and because you tied up a bunch of your capital on that lot, you have to say no to someone who approaches you the very following week with a collection, and it's like a dream collection. It's all of these cards from 151, all these illustration rares that you know are going to sell quick, that are easy to list. Or it's a master set. Master sets are great because as you pull them out, they're all going to be from the same set, and then master set collectors will right. These are like all situations of better things that you might miss out on if you said yes. And so while I encourage you to always be buying collections, do understand that you don't have to. You're not automatically pigeonholed or forced, like gunpoint, held, tortured into saying yes to whatever, someone who you bought from in the past. You can say no. Obviously, there's a cost there too, because they might find another buyer and they might enjoy selling to that buyer more. But that's just a risk that you have to take. So make sure that you know it is okay to say no to people who come to you asking to sell you their collections from time to time. Same thing with other ventures. There's so many times where someone might reach out to you, or you might have an itch or a wondering about hopping into another card game. Oh, One Piece is kind of popping off. Like, maybe I should go buy a One Piece collection. That'd be cool. That person's selling a collection. I could pick it up at 60%. Yeah, that could be cool. But also, maybe not. Maybe that's going to take a lot of time to learn another game. It's going to take a lot of time to list inventory. You're going to have to sort new inventory. You're going to have to come up with new systems. Like, all of those things. Are you familiar with the One Piece sets? Are you familiar with how to condition those cards? Same thing. League of Legends just came out, right? Riftbound just came out. I'm seeing so many people post these Riftbound cards, and I've had a few times where I'm like, oh, should I hop in? Should I hop in? Should I hop in? And I really think, like, right now, I do just want to focus on Pokemon. And maybe that's not the play, but at least for me right now, I do want to just keep my head down and focus, because I know that saying no to things is a weakness of mine. Like, out of all the Wisdom Wednesdays that I've given you guys, this is the one that I struggle with the most, because I'm just not great at telling people no. Not because I don't want to disappoint people. I'm okay disappointing people. I disappoint people all the time. But because I want to do all the things. I want to buy the sorting machine and do bulk like crazy. I want to have all these crazy collections that I'm picking up. I'd love to get distribution one day and be able to sell you guys, people who buy from my store, sealed product. I want to do all the things, but I also only want to do this part-time because I love being a pastor. I don't want to give up my day job at church. I just love and feel called that that's what I'm supposed to do. Also, I love being a dad. I love having my kiddos. Like, we'd like to have more children. So it's just, I can't do all the things, and so I have to learn how to say no to some stuff. And some of that stuff right now has been hopping into other games, hopping more into Magic, hopping into One Piece, hopping into, whatever the case might be. I've learned that I have to say no to some of those things, and I think that you do too. And if you create content, sometimes this means sponsorships. You're going to have people, depending on how long you've been creating content and what kind of a reach, how much influence you have, people are going to start reaching out to you asking like, hey, would you like to collab? Would you be able to plug this in a video? And I think sponsorships are great. It's a great way to, especially if you believe in the product, a great way to let your customers know about, not customers, let your audience, let your people who watch your stuff. It's a great way to let them know about products that are awesome. And then also you get compensated from that company. It's like, it's a win-win, especially if you believe in the product. But do you really believe in it, or are you just doing it? And is your audience going to be able to suss that out? Or are they going to, like, for instance, I did a sponsorship a while ago because someone sent me a desk, right? I needed a desk. Let's see if I can raise it. Can I raise it real quick? Ooh, I don't know if you guys can see that in video. It's like a stand sit desk. Anyways, I looked at this desk. It looked awesome. I was like, yeah, I need one of these. Maybe some of you guys would want one. So it didn't feel weird or disingenuous to plug this desk and do a sponsored segment in a video. But just because someone does reach out to you with something like that does not mean that you have to. In fact, sometimes you ought to say no. Sometimes you should say no. You have permission to, yes, you business owner, to say no to some things. In fact, you should say no to some things. Same thing with collaborations. There are going to be maybe other stores that want to, hang out, pick your brain on stuff. And if you have time, if you have margin, by all means, like, that's great. But if you don't, like, you can say no if that's going to keep you from doing something that is ultimately going to get you closer to your goal, or something that is more important to you. And sometimes it does. Saying no to good things, because all of these things are good. Saying no to good things sometimes does feel yucky, but you have to do it. This happens to me at church all the time. One of the things that my church is very, very good at doing is we keep our attention focused on what matters most to us, and that is our weekend experience, because we are very much so a church for people who don't come to church. We want people who have never been to church before to be able to walk into one of our buildings and have an experience that makes them want to seek out what following Jesus can look like. And so we put so much emphasis on the weekend experience, which means with some of the midweek stuff, we've had so many good ideas where it's like, hey, we should do a men's ministry, we should do a women's ministry, we should do a college ministry, we should do a divorced people's ministry, we should do a singles ministry, we should do, like, all these things. All those things that I just listed, those things are all really good, except for you start saying yes to one thing, then you're going to be saying yes to two things, three things. All of a sudden, you've got something every single night of the week. Your staff is there all the time. People are burnt out. No one's spending time with their family. People are leaving, and it starts to take away from the weekend, which for us is the most important thing. So sometimes I have to be the guy who says no to someone who has a good idea that is genuinely a good thing, because those good things could keep us from doing the great thing. So, a question for you. What is a good thing that you right now should say no to? There probably is something that someone has asked you, something that you've been considering. Is it a good thing? Yes. Is it going to distract you from the great thing? Perhaps. And if that's the case, it might be okay. It might be a good idea to say no. That's what I got for you guys in this one, Wisdom Wednesday. You can say no. And if this is your first time here, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel, if you like the video, if you leave a comment below. Let me know something that you've had to say no to before, because I would love to, I usually do a good job of responding to those. I would love to interact with you down in the comments below. Also, if Wisdom Wednesdays are things that you enjoy, I'll put the playlist right here for all of the Wisdom Wednesdays so far. I think this is number 9 or 8 or something. We've done a bunch of them. It's been a lot of Wednesdays, but this is one of my favorite videos to shoot every single week. So thank you guys for watching. Really enjoy making content and getting to hang out with you guys. I believe this with my whole heart, that Jesus loves you, that he has an incredible plan for your life. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.